Alright, let's dive into something that's been buzzing in the aviation world, Boeing's quieter engines and why they come with a penalty that Airbus just isn't willing to accept. But here's the thing, this isn't just about noise reduction. It's about the trade-offs, the evolution of technology, and the bigger picture of where aviation is headed. So, let's break it down. First off, what's the big deal with these quieter engines? Well, Boeing introduced chevrons, those sawtooth-shaped edges on engine nozzles, to reduce noise. Sounds great, right? Quieter planes mean happier neighborhoods under flight paths. But here's where it gets interesting, chevrons aren't just a win-win. They come with a penalty, a slight loss in thrust, increased complexity, and a bit more weight. Personally, I think this is where the story gets fascinating. It's not just about solving one problem, it's about the ripple effects of that solution. What many people don't realize is that chevrons were kind of a stopgap technology. NASA developed them back in the early 2000s, and Boeing adopted them for the 787 Dreamliner, 747-8, and 737 MAX. But here's the kicker, Airbus never bought into them. From my perspective, this says a lot about the different design philosophies between Boeing and Airbus. Boeing was willing to accept the penalties for the noise reduction benefits, while Airbus seemed to bet on solving the problem in a different way. And that's exactly what's happening now. Boeing itself is moving away from chevrons with the 777X. Why? Because newer engines are achieving noise reduction through internal design improvements, things like better acoustic liners, redesigned fan blades, and optimized exhaust flow. If you take a step back and think about it, chevrons were an external band-aid. Now, engineers are tackling the problem at its source, which is way more efficient. This raises a deeper question, are chevrons becoming obsolete? In my opinion, absolutely. They were a brilliant solution for their time, but technology has moved on. The GE9X engine on the 777X, for example, doesn't need chevrons because it's inherently quieter thanks to its massive fan and high bypass ratio. It's like we're seeing the evolution of noise reduction in real time. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. Companies like Rolls-Royce and Pratt & Whitney are taking this a step further. Rolls-Royce's UltraFan, for instance, is targeting a 15-to-1 bypass ratio and a 35% reduction in perceived noise. What this really suggests is that the future of quieter engines isn't about adding external features like chevrons, it's about rethinking the entire engine architecture. One thing that immediately stands out is how this ties into the broader trend of sustainability in aviation. Quieter engines aren't just about reducing noise pollution, they're part of a larger effort to make planes more efficient and environmentally friendly. Lower noise often means lower fuel burn, which is a win for both airlines and the planet. So, when Boeing and Airbus make these design choices, they're not just thinking about today, they're thinking about the next 20, 30, even 50 years. Now, let's talk about the open fan engines that CFM International is working on. These are basically the next frontier in aviation technology. They promise to be even quieter and more efficient than current engines, but they come with their own set of challenges. A detail I find fascinating is how these engines are being designed with supercomputing to optimize noise reduction. It's like we're entering a new era where software and hardware are co-evolving to solve these complex problems. So, where does this leave chevrons? Personally, I think they'll go down in history as an important stepping stone, a transitional technology that paved the way for more advanced solutions. They were a clever fix, but not the final answer. And that's the beauty of innovation, it's always moving forward. To wrap this up, the story of Boeing's quieter engines and Airbus's rejection of chevrons isn't just about noise. It's about the trade-offs we make in engineering, the evolution of technology, and the bigger goals of sustainability and efficiency. What makes this really interesting is how it reflects the broader trends in aviation, a constant push to do better, to innovate, and to solve problems in smarter ways. So, the next time you hear a plane fly overhead, think about all the engineering decisions that went into making it quieter. It's not just noise, it's progress.